Hello, my wonderful spirit guides. Today I am going to be doing a patron request and it's going to be for Anna von HAUSSWOLFF. I think that's how it's said, I'm not sure, but I imagine so. I imagine there's a bit more of an accent when you say it, but I'm not going to really attempt it. But anyway, this is a patron request, but I thought it would fit into spooky month as well, just by what I've heard about it, just by looking up little bits here and there and like so on. I really don't know, but the name just gave me a spooky vibe, and then I mentioned it and no one's really said it's not to do it for spooky month, so I'm guessing it will fit in. Anyway, if you want to see it uncut, then you can head over to Patreon, and that my link will be in the description and so on like that. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, I shall follow you back. I'm trying not to respond too much to comments on YouTube as much now, just because I'm getting a little bit overwhelmed here and there, just with because obviously I get so many requests, which is obviously fine because like it's exciting and so on, but sometimes I feel like an overwhelming pressure that I have to do them like immediately. But sometimes I just need a bit of time with sometimes other artists come in, I have to do them, and you know, whatever. But if I say to you that I'm going to do it, just know that I will on my channel at some point. It's not that I don't ever want to or anything like that, it's just I can only fit so much into 1 month, you know what I mean? However, anyway, on Instagram I'm a bit more chatty. I post lots of random little bits here and there, pictures, clips, video clips, and just chat in the comments, or sometimes a little DM, have a little chat and whatever. So yeah, please do all those things. This album, the patron has said to me, so I thought I should go through this. They said, "Hey, since the Anna V reaction is on the horizon, I decided to pop in and say some things. The first is that the final song title is in Swedish and I thought it'd be nice to help you pronounce it. It's pronounced Källans Återuppståndelse. Källans Återuppståndelse. According to a friend of mine who speaks Swedish and Google Translate, and it translates to returning of the source. And the second is a trivia about that. Anna did 2 albums that she released in 2015, Ceremony and The Miraculous. By the way, I'm deciding which to request after your reaction. And she felt extremely drained after them, to the point where she felt all of her creative magic was gone and went on a bit of a depression after it. And in the midst of that, she decided to start working again and discovered that she still had magic inside of her. The result was the album. That's why it's called Dead Magic. Each song feels like a spell for me, especially the third track. That is the longest one. I always picture it as a ritual, maybe a necromancy ritual even. Anyway, I just thought it might be nice to say some things about it." And I replied saying, "That's perfect. It was very nice to hear a few things about it before I get started." So it seems like this album came out of a place where there was a creative block after spending so much energy on the previous album. So I'm interested what kind of comes out of that, because that's already an interesting thing in itself. When you have a creative block, what comes out of that can either be something great or bad, but the fact that she's released it, it must have been something brilliant. Do you know what I mean? So very, very intrigued. The album is only 5 songs. However, the album itself is actually 47 minutes long. And that's because there are 3 songs that are over, well, there's 2 songs over 10 minutes and 1 that's nearly 10 minutes. So let's go for it. Yeah. Oh yeah, I haven't mentioned the makeup either. Yeah, I tried doing like a wolfy kind of makeup look. I've never done a wolf makeup look before, but I was really happy with how it turned out, honestly. Bit of a hairy old face today. Anyway, let's go for it. Oh. Okay, first song is called The Truth, The Glow, The Fall. I thought it wasn't playing because it starts so quiet. That's so funny. Okay, right, yes. Sounds a bit like a skateboard. Or like rollerblades. Okay, really building up to the scene, setting the scene, you know? Wow. She's saying, after the fall, I will find you. It's sung so beautifully and it is very haunting. But I love all those little, you know, those little bits that come in, that they just build atmosphere. Because it feels like, yes, you're in a church, but it feels like you're in a very, very gothic church. And it's got something slightly, you know, jarring about it. There's something a little like, not so traditional, I suppose. There's something, yeah, it's haunting. That is the word, really. It is haunting, yes. Unexpected, out from nowhere. Also, her vocals, sorry, really remind me of like a very 80s type of vocal. Out of nowhere. They just do, they have like a bit more of an 80s feel to them. Sadness, he sadly sang for me. Can you hear the sound? Can you hear the sound? It wants you. Alright, let me pause it. Yeah, I love it so far. I'm just like, it haunts me. You know, I was saying about it feeling haunting, and she's saying about it haunting her, so it's all very matching. I love that. I was just kind of like flowing in it, just having little thoughts, thinking, you know. Wow, I was kind of getting lost in it, but now it's changing up a little bit, which I'm interested in. Lyrics wise, I might have a little look after editing. So, because I'm doing it stood up, it's a bit hard to do that. But I'm quite enjoying looking at it once I've in editing and just trying to listen for the lyrics more in these videos at the moment. So yeah. Wow. I feel like I'm listening to The Doors, and I love The Doors. They're one of my favourite bands. Wow. Her vocals. I feel like I'm like the snake, and you know, someone's snake charming me. That's what I feel like. I feel like I'm just like melting and like kind of following what, like I'm in a trance almost, you know, a bit like a woo. And her vocals are so strong. I love that her vocals are a little bit pulled back because they're so powerful, but that they resonate over these like more, these sounds that are very like intimately in your ears. Her vocals feel very, they can just reach over the top of them in this like huge kind of epic No, you know, got a bit of a Stevie Nicks feeling, maybe a little bit of Jefferson Airplane in there as well. Oh, it's gorgeous. I feel like I'm in the 70s or the 60s. The vibrato. That's a really, really beautiful kind of show of what straight tone and vibrato looks like next to each other. And it's a little bit of a flex as well, because there's so many people, like singers, that when they use vibrato, they find it hard not to use vibrato. So if you're someone that naturally sings like, hey, then like you might find it hard to straighten that out. And if you're someone who naturally sings in straight tones, you might find it hard to do vibrato. But she's showing you, no, I can do both, and I'm going to show you right now. She's like, we fall, and then we high. You know, she just changes it up right there and then. It's like, wow, okay, it's a little bit of a flex, but in like a cool way. Layers of vocal. Wow. Those vocals are insane. I can see stars, I can see waterfalls, I can see forests. Pause it a minute because I fear that I will not pause if I don't then. What a sound, what a sound. Oh, what a sound. This is the this is the sound that touches me deep in my heart. It's like it feels like freedom. It's just so good. I could see, like, as it was, you know, going along, I could see like dark forests, and as it started to get a little bit more sparkly, like, and you know, like the darker sound started to pull out a little bit. Just as it was happening though, I could see like this big moonlight waterfall gushing and all the stars like sparkling out in the sky. Oh my goodness. I really do not ever need to take anything to alter my mind, because all I got to do is listen to music, and especially music like this. I'm there. Literally, it's incredible. Beautiful. That organ just charging. it's near the end now, but I had to pause because I just had something to say. But her vocals there are quite fantastic. They remind me, you know, I imagine when Lana Del Rey was doing I went down to Berkeley. I left in the outer city, out of mind, killing it, talking shit. Joe said she was gonna quit. You know, when she does that bit in Dancing Till We Die. Dancing Till We Die? Can't remember. But in that song, it sounds a lot like this sort of vocal, or at least trying to be this kind of vocal. And Lana Del Rey sounded beautiful in that part, because I love that part. But this is like the real deal. This vocal it's really taken me back to like the 70s. It just is. It's just like real 60s, actually, sorry, 60s, like kind of psychedelic rock sound that I love. But also this has some very interesting sounds because it's also haunting. It's a bit folky. There's some, like, you know, religious themes in the sound, and so on. What I wanted to say is, in that moment where it was all twinkly, you're like, okay, yeah, and you're just like, wow, that's beautiful. And then that, like, boom, came in, and I just suddenly just had to stop and just be like, wow, okay, this is where I am right now. I'm not in this room, I'm in this space. And that, like, boom sound, that, like, really just is almost like putting a finger on a pressure point and being like, calm, you know, like a hypnosis. It's like sleep, you know, and you're like, I'm here now. And I just listened to it rise, and then that, like, organ sound started to, like, slowly and quietly build in until it became bigger and bigger, and I'm focusing on that. But then her vocal comes in like that, and, like, at one point I felt like she was saying something about freedom, and, like, I was like, that's insane, because I was saying that's how this song's making me feel right now. But I'm going to check now, just in case she was not saying that whatsoever. So she doesn't say anything about freedom, but she's saying feel the fall. And she's saying feel the fall, but there's something about that fall. Okay, well, I kind of like hearing that even more, because obviously as the music is, like, just transcending into this, like, huge psychedelic shoegaze moment, you know, and she's then goes feel the fall, and however she's doing it, but it's almost, it is again mirroring the kind of sound that's happening. Seems like a deeply emotional song, if I'm honest. I'm going to look a little bit more into it when I'm editing, though. But there was something freeing about it, though. That fall that she talks about. You know, she was saying, it looks like in the song before, she was saying stuff like, after the fall I'll find you, and then very much like, will we fall, where will we fall? You know, it's all about, you know, when it happens, after we fall, you know, afterwards I'll find you, but what will it feel like? Will we do it? Will we fall? And then at the end, after that huge musical moment, she's literally saying, feel the fall. It's like, we're here. We are here in the falling process. Feel it. Wow, that's kind of magical, right? Wow. That magic isn't dead. That's quite alive, that magic. That's kind of insane. All right, then. So I'm going to finish this and let it run into The Mysterious Vanishing of Electra. My wolf face looks so funny. Ooh! Okay. The clarity, that's a little bit different, just a little bit bling, and it feels very clear, very glass-like, very precise and up close, but still warm. It still has a warm feeling to it. Sorry, I'm just going to sort my hair out a bit. But this one feels like it's going to have a bit of a Tarantino vibe, maybe, a bit of a gothic, southern gothic sound. For sure. I'm looking forward to it because I do love a bit of gothic southern music. But that synthy sound is unique though. Add something different. Building and building. She like often lets her voice, like when in the tail end of her vocal line, she'll often let her voice do what it wants. So she'll put all this power in, and then with the excess air that's left, she'll let it like control what happens next. You know, I didn't do it like she does, because you can't really. There's not much control that goes into it. There really isn't. You kind of just let it go with on its own. There is obviously, you have to make sure it doesn't end on a weird note, but there isn't actual control. It's just being a good singer. You know what I mean? I didn't choose what happened. I chose the first drop off, and then the actual tail end is completely not me. Like, I did not choose that at all. And it sounds like she does that a lot with her voice, and that just gives it that extra, again, magic. I'm going to keep using that word through this, but like, yeah, that really is the word that I would use through this. Wow, okay, let me carry on then. I have to pause again. There's all these vocal things she's doing. My feet. Her vocals are usually like, ah, and then here it's my feet. So good. It like, that's all. She's an incredible singer. Like, this music is fantastic, but that voice is captivating me. On that guitar. She is singing from something deep within. Oh, I love that little guitar sound. This is powerful. This is tribal. Can you imagine this live? I can't get over her voice. This, oh God, I thought she was belting it out on the first one. This one, she's going insane. She's literally flying those vocals all over the shop. They are probably, out of all the reaction videos I've done, obviously I'm always going to love Lana Del Rey, her vocals, but these are the best vocals I've had. 100%. I love vocals, but it takes a lot for me to get have a vocal really hit me. And I don't know if that's because I'm a singer as well, and when I hear singers, I try and do what they do and all these things, whatever. But I feel like among Sevdaliza, Lana Del Rey, Aurora, but in a very different way, and this Anna von HAUSSWOLFF, these vocals are just probably the best I've heard. Yeah, doing these reaction videos for sure. And that's my opinion. It's through how it feels for me, you know. I'm astonished. I'm just blown away. Fucking hell. Come on then. Sing it, baby. So like scream as well. So controlled. That is magic. That is a purge. Yeah. Right. Okay. I need to pause it. But my light flew over because I wobbled what the light was on by being far too into it. I didn't even notice it had actually fallen down at first. I was like, oh, that was so good. Oh my God. Oh my God. When she was going, oh, and then she was going, ah, you know, it was all coming out. It made me think of laugh therapy. Obviously it's not what she's doing, but it made me think of it, and it's a therapy where people go around literally laughing, and it's a type of like meditation, sort, you know, those sort of things like goat yoga and stuff, but it's like a laughing one. It kind of reminded me of that though, because it reminded me of that purge. You know, she's going, wah! And like it's like releasing whatever's in her. She's like, wah! It's all coming out, and then she's like, nah, you know, like. It's all like, you know, it probably doesn't sound quite like SpongeBob like I did. Not quite like that, but but it has that real like tribal feeling to it. Push the trees, push the sky, push the air aside. You look at their faces and they're meaningless and you cry. All that control. The way she brought that down, it's really hard when you're going for it. When you're going for it like she is, to be like, because sometimes when you go so far, you don't know how to end it. You can be like, but it feels weird to end it short. You don't know where to go sometimes. And so she did a just very beautifully brought it down in a little piece on her own to end a song. So, okay, I'm calm now. Loved it. Oh my goodness. This, I didn't know what the sound was going to be like whatsoever. I didn't know. And this is quite different to what I've been listening to on my channel so far and on Patreon. This is something that lives in here in me. And there's been a few times that's happened on this channel where I've gone, that is something that lives inside here that I've always loved, but never found enough people who do it, you know? I always feel like I'm just kind of going back to like the originals, like the Janis Joplins, who like obviously different voice, but the same way of like, just, I don't know, expelling those like demons, like those woes, those pains. It's just coming out in this big feminine kind of energy in like this, there's only so many words, but there's so many words that it's everything. Yeah, all right. Let me just go on to the next song. All right, the next one is called Ugly and Vengeful, and this is the longest one on the album, 16 minutes. I think this is what the patron said was their favourite song. So I'm very intrigued. Okay, got like a little smooth start again. Just rising, setting the scene. Ooh, going a little bit detuned there. Who does all her music for her? Does she play an instrument? Or is it just her insane vocals? Little choir. Oh my god. I could meditate to this. Pitch bending. I love that. I love that use of the pitch bending. And I've got a keyboard, a little MIDI keyboard that you well, yeah, you've got like a little slider where you do that, and you can have so much fun with it. You can change the way it oscillates or whatever, but mainly just going like, you just put your finger on it in the middle and you go, you know, and you push it up and down in little areas so you think it will just fit, and it really just like, you know, gives it that like I don't know, that feeling of moving up and down. It's like yeah, a little bit irregular but like fits in. It adds a psychedelic feel to this. It's like so earthly, yet it's so universal. Like it feels like we're in the abyss of night, floating through the stars, yet literally with our feet in the ground. Dark vocal. I'm intrigued as to what she's saying, actually. Yeah, I'm finding it slightly hard to catch what she's saying. I don't know whether that's intentional. It almost feels like she's kind of chanting something in a deeper register, because it's like, you know, it feels very like to herself almost. It's like she's talking to herself, and it feels like a chant in some sort of way. Oh, those little symbols just being brushed.
I'm restless, like a storm.
A little crescendo she's using. She really shows you her singing voice. She shows you everything she's capable of, and that's a nice little crescendo, you know. You know, it starts so smooth from the chest voice into a more pushed, heady, but like belt. It's not quite a belt. It's more like you know, more around here. The resonating chamber comes from here instead of yeah, it's just being pushed up. It's being pushed up higher and higher, and then, you know, her classic thing she does, and you know, it's like a cry, a real cry. I love it.
Forgiven, forsaken. I'm staring at my
feel like it's important I mention this. It's not important, but you know, it might be a little thing that I don't want to leave out. But when she was doing that vocal bit, it's so interesting because I could see her in this huge Gothic castle just before this bit here, and it's sometimes the images are a little you get half an image. It's a little bit odd, but I could see like a maiden. You know, it was like a slightly like a in the Gothic era, a bit medieval, I suppose, but like a Bronze Age or something like that, like the Iron Age. But I could see a maiden sort of thing, like at this Gothic-looking dressing table, washing something, you know, in like a bowl of water, like a flannel. And I could see Anna. I don't actually know what she looks like, but I could see this woman with like dark hair, just like in a very, you know, old-fashioned way, in her underclothes, in like a white underclothes, waiting and singing to this like maid, you know, kind of looming over her. So the maid sat down like this, and then she's just sat with her arm on top of like the mirror bit, just looking at her, singing these bits. And it's almost like she's telling the maid her like woes or her pains. She's having a conversation. She's just expressing something to her. I don't even know what she's saying. It might not be anything. I don't know what she's saying, but like I could feel her talking, and she's talking deeply about something very secretive, because back then, you know, these ladies' maids were like their confidants, their friends, their advisors. I just had that feeling. And now this music's come in, and I see this woman in like this big dress, like very like, and she's off to like go and do something very formal, maybe something that had been giving her nerves, making her nervous. But there's something, yeah, there's a journey to it, basically. There's a travelling aspect in this moment. Yeah, I don't know, that probably isn't important. It probably sounds a little cliche, like TV show sort of thing, but it was very intimate, the space I was seeing and the colours, the like dark greys, but the dark velvety blues and reds, like turquoisey blue and red, and the white as well, and the pale skin and brunette hair, like those sorts of colours are just, yeah, okay, right, let's carry on. It feels quite regal, in like a dark way. Wow. I feel like she's at a destination now. Yeah, the other thing is you know how that bit just then, it was very, nothing changing too much. That's that silly, you know, it's like a very steady pace, not much changing. It that makes you feel like she's walking, like, oh, this woman that's in my head, she's walking, and it is a very like, it's meant to feel long because the journey is for something quite big, whether it be like a wedding, a sacrifice, a killing, you know, like something big is about to happen. And I could feel this like kind of, you know, walking, getting ready for this huge moment. Yeah, so that there's that. Let's see what happens now. Did she say he wants to have my glory now? Or something like that? I'm going to have a little check. Or the correct lyrics apparently are he wants to have my gloria. It's the Latin for glory, which, yeah, in Swedish refers to a luminous cloud or halo surrounding a holy being. That's interesting, because actually what I was talking about as I was reading the lyrics before, just like, she is saying stuff actually. I'm heavy, I'm restless, I'm older. Forgive her, forsaken, I'm searing at my pores, you know, it does sound like she's talking about something. So talking to that maid isn't so far off in my imagery, actually. She's really expressing some like woes and like pains about herself. I want to die for the stone. It's so powerful. And she repeats, for the stone, for the stone. I can't die for the stone, for the stone. I'm not necessarily sure what the stone is. Apparently the correct lyrics, I don't know, Genius is saying correct lyrics and I don't know, it's very confusing. But it's like, die Father, God for the stone, for the Son. I said, die Father, Son for the God. I don't know, some sort of Holy Trinity thing. Something very religious in there. You know, she's saying she wants to, but then she's saying she can't. I'm not entirely sure, but he wants to have my Gloria, yeah. And then she repeats the first sort of lines and says stone at the end. It's a little bit cryptic for me personally, because I'm not entirely sure on like all like religious stuff, but the vibe I was getting feels very real. You know, she's entering this place, and then she bursts into this, he wants to have my Gloria. You know, it's like this, almost like she's protesting, like she's walking up to this place to have something happen to her. Something is going to happen, basically. And then it's almost like she's breaking out, going, no, I'm going to tell everyone. He wants to take this from me, you know? Or like he wants to have this purity about me, something about me. It could even be a sexual thing, but maybe more just, or anything where it's like taking some kind of purity or light, or, you know, it's like being like a vampire, almost draining the life source from her. Take what's beautiful about her. God, I feel emotional even talking about that, you know. I'm getting myself emotional by coming up with my own little theories, but it seems pretty beautiful though, and epic. This is a very, very, very. This is one that is casting very strong imagery. It's almost very precise, but also very. I don't know. I have to kind of join the parts in some ways too. My brain, it does what it wants to do. Oh, that drum picking up. Oh, grit. This is anger. This feels like anger. It's building. I want to see this live. Here we go. This is spooky month, everyone. Mania. So much pain in this.
Like a
Yes. Love that grit in her vocal. Just her vocal her vocal is running so close to the music. You can hear you can hear slightly that, and I can't tell if it's her vocal or like the organ. And it sounds so congealed with the organ. It's hard to tell, honestly. You can just hear slight little bits. I don't know, but that grit she's got in some parts, yeah, okay. spinning around almost. Oh, what a beautiful chord to land on. It almost feels like comfortable in this place. Just a little bit of release from the tension. Oh, that's epic. Yeah, this is it. This is the refrain. This is the climax. Yeah. Oh. Wow, ending on that. Wait. I felt that being the climax, and it was. Yeah, it was. I didn't even look to see if the song was ending yet, but I knew that was the climax. When it all just collects together like that, and like builds and builds like that, it just, you know, that is that epic finale. But that organ at the end, just like so almost normal, right? It almost makes the whole thing feel like it didn't happen. All of this was in her mind, like inside, as she was being this stoic kind of woman who had to do a duty or had to have something happen to her. All that chaos that was inside, it almost felt like it just been silenced at the end, or it didn't even come out in the first place. I don't know, but there's something extremely powerful and epic about that. And I'm like shaking in my voice a little bit, because I'm just like, I'm not in my room right now. Let's have a little look round. I'm charged with this energy. It is phenomenal. Okay. That little key at the end though made you, okay, sorry, it went, and it went, like little odd key made you go, oh, maybe it was real. You know, it kind of was like, oh, back to normal, but none of that was normal. I don't know. I think I end up looking very far into things. I do, but I like it. I like my brain kind of expanding into these elements, because that's why I love doing these videos, and this sort of music is gonna do it. It's gonna do it. Okay, well that was freaking epic. Yeah, I'm sorry, I sometimes sing over little bits, but when I feel like there's an area that can have a little space for a vocal, I just start doing it, and I feel like I can, when I'm listening to the song, I feel myself, and then like when I start singing, it just makes the experience so much more better for me. So it's just the way that I listen, I suppose. No one's ever complained before, but I thought I should say anyway. But yeah, I was trying to channel some of her vocal styles and bring it to the song. And yeah, I was always imagining I wish that she was doing it. But yeah, that was fun. I love her vocal style. I used to like write lots of music that was a bit more like psychedelic, a bit more like this. I have a song, but it's with my ex-boyfriend from years ago, and there's literally in the bridge, it's like, she da 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 da, that kind of wobbly, almost Indian melismas going on. Yeah, a little bit like, Arabian or whatever, Middle Eastern. I'm not very good with origins, but that sort of feeling, very psychedelic, letting your voice just take you. And it is a real free way of singing, but with a lot of technicality in there too, showing how good of a singer she is. I know I've talked about that already, so I'm going to move on now. Okay. The next song is called The Marble Eye. Yeah, I'm sorry if the light keeps going up and down. It's just like I've got my curtain open for extra light, but with my light, but obviously English weather, there's clouds and rain and shifts and shit. Okay, let's go for it. The Marble Eye. Ooh. That organ is such a character in all these songs, playing such a prominent role. I'm actually going to go slip some slides on because I hate having my feet on hard ground. Oh, they're over here. Right, did we like my hair how it was? Did we like it like that? I felt like I was doing a bit of a side head every time I spoke, but oh well, that's fine. Oh, we've got it all back now, so maybe we just do it like that. Oh no.
Yeah.
Okay, well, this looks kind of hilarious, but I don't care. I'm just getting into the music. Right. Okay. Very nice. Very clear. Right, I'm just going to pause it. I'm kind of zoning out on this one so far. I think that one just now, the Ugly and Vengeful, I think that was so powerful and took my brain went into such a different area that I'm trying to just like bring myself back to reality a little bit and listen to this. This one's, I haven't quite settled in with it yet, I suppose. I suppose there's like I don't know what's to come. Maybe when some vocals come in, I'll think differently. But at the moment, it's just very like a moving organ, little organ parts going on. And okay, again, setting a scene. I'm just going to go with it. Feels like an interlude, even though it's a 5-minute one. Wow. That's quite lovely, actually. Wow. Feels like hope. Feels like hope. Wow, that feels quite hopeful and happy. Yeah, so basically, my legs. There isn't anything actually that dramatic about it whatsoever. It is just D minor, D, E minor, B flat, C, F, G minor. So just bits of, there is some minors and there's some majors, Yeah, it's just a mix of majors and minors, and I think that can make it sound kind of like it gives it like, how it was very sad at first, it seemed a little bit doom and gloom, and then how it just like lifted and felt like this kind of hopeful moment. It felt like hope, and that's obviously like the major chords coming in, I imagine. Love that. Very cool. Okay. Oh, it's like, nope, we're not done yet. Just putting the hammer down. Oh, okay. It's like one last bit. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like, it feels like somewhat of a character. Like, feels like this big, like, father-like figure in a way. Like this, like, yeah, I'm just going to keep it as that. And like, feels just like, and there's like other parts of the organ that feel like the mother. And there's some like mothering like sounds to it. But then, the organ itself though just has this very masculine feel to it in most of the songs actually. It does feel very masculine and a little daunting, a little intimidating is the word. But there'll be moments where it sounds a little softer. I don't know. Okay, right, next one. Well, this is actually the last one, and oh yeah, how was it pronounced again? Källans Återuppståndelse. Källans Återuppståndelse. Källans Återuppståndelse. Why do I always sound like I'm trying to be like French when I do it? Okay, Källans Återuppståndelse. I don't know. I can't do it with an accent. I can't. I can't. Källans Återuppståndelse. Alright, let's go for it though. It's the last one. What an intricate, interesting album it has been. And for only being 5 songs, that's totally fine because it feels like a very, very intricate movie or series. You know, I know, I wonder how this is going to be for a last song. Will it be like a real, just to top it off, or is that middle song going to be the one that has the most like climactic moment to it? Or is this now kind of come down from all of that? Will this be softer? Enough speculating and let's get on with it. Ooh. Okay. Those little like squeaky sounds like in the background almost sounded like a swinging actually. Wow. Oh, here comes Daddy organ. This one might be mummy organ actually. It's mum and dad together. Oh. If I'm honest, I was starting to think, I was wondering if there was going to be vocals on this track. I'm actually very, very, very happy there are, because I was thinking, I don't know if I'm going to be able to handle 2 just instrumental tracks on this kind of energy, you know, too much. But the vocal coming in now, I'm very intrigued and I'm looking forward to hearing it. Go back a slight bit. Violins. Beautiful. This feels like somewhat of a rebirth, you know? There's something very at peace about it. There's something almost held about it, you know, like this embrace of like this kind of, she sounds very girl-like, very sweet and warm, and it feels like she's under protection of, like there's an orb around her of protection, of light and love. And these organs are carrying her in a way, whereas the organs could be a little bit frightening at times. They now have like a very, almost like she's can bend them, you know. She's almost like, she's like the calm witch almost that is moving the music to her advantage in a way that is so, I don't know, she just seems very protected in this beautiful space, and she feels that there's a lot more control and serenity. It feels like a rebirth, a spiritual awakening. And I am very aware of the patron saying something about being like, it's kind of like necromancy spell, which is obviously bringing someone back to life. And I'm very aware of that comment, and I'm not sure whether it was relating to this or the third song. I can't remember what they're saying, or the whole album. But I feel it in this. In this, I'm feeling that true kind of, you know, just like that peace almost. Oh. However, though, sorry, in the background, I could, you know, it almost felt like it's like slight voices, like, wah, almost like there's some kind of distress going on in the background. And I can't tell if it's vocals or if it's just little, you know, like oscillating sounds. But I can't tell. But if there is voices or whatever, it almost feels like they're all trapped on the outside. They're trapped on the outside of this orb in a way. All those strings. And that's the end. Wow. Wow, okay. Oh man, that was crazy. Those first three songs really were like insane, if I'm honest. That first song, oh my god, like that was incredible. It really gave me like a atmospheric. I could feel the walking into the woods, the waterfalls, like I was saying. It was the first moment where I was like, God, I could just think of Jim Morrison when I'm hearing this very psychedelic shoegaze kind of feeling to it. I loved it. Her vocals had like an 80s texture in her just her kind of chest voice register there. You know, she's got a bit of like sounds a little bit like Madonna. But then when she hits those like bigger notes, that's something else. She transforms. She really does. And like, it's funny that I'm dressed as a wolf and like not a witch for this, because this is so magical, but in a weird way. I'm glad I'm dressed like a wolf for this, because I feel like there's an unleashing of a she-wolf inside of her that is like unleashed when she has those huge like vocal moments. I really heard her voice soar in the second song. Whereas there's a lot more clarity to it. I imagine it's a little bit more listenable for a lot of people. Just as like, because the length of the song isn't as crazy. Also, like it has a bit more structure, I'd say, a bit more clarity in there. But it didn't actually take away from the fact that it was a very powerful song. And I loved all that, ooh, like all those little like bits as she rise and come down, like, you know, like it's real. I could feel myself releasing so much like I don't know, storage in me, I suppose. I feel like I want to listen to that again when I'm cooking dinner, just to really like release my own kind of like things inside. And then Ugly and Vengeful was just a cinematic god, you know, like it was just absolutely like I saw details in the sound. I saw it. I saw everything happen. There was fire. There's stuff that I haven't talked about, by the way. That's why I say fire. No, I didn't talk about the fire. But in that like creepier bit, I could see fire. I could see flames. I could see chaos. I could see just mania, but in like this very like red and black, dark, candlescent like way. Oh my god, that was just, see, I'm still going. I'm not even listening to it and I'm still going. This is what I mean by how cinematic it was in my mind. I could just talk about it forever. I hope there's a music video to it. I don't know if there is, but I'd love to see it. The Marble Eye was probably my least favourite, but I did enjoy how it went from being very quite minor to something very hopeful. And it was like, oh, okay, just suddenly a load of hope coming out, which was like a nice transition from the darkness into the light, which was then Källans and I've forgotten it already. But yeah, it like, and then that one was just like pure rebirth kind of feeling. Just like it started a little, for me, it started a little like, okay, what's going on here then? But I suppose it makes sense now hearing the whole of the song. As I got into it, it was just very beautiful, and the imagery. You know, a lot of it reminded me a bit of like a Pretending by Sophie. Some of it reminded me a bit of that. I feel like every request I've done recently, I've talked about Sophie. What is wrong with me? I was watching a video about her the other day as well. I just keep mentioning her bloody name. But R.I.P. Beautiful, beautiful, creative, talented, wonderful spirit. And yeah, but yeah, I just keep talking about her. But yeah, okay. But yeah, you know, that kind of like swallowing, developing, enveloping sound that just like takes you somewhere. And I don't know, gorgeous. Yeah, thank you for this request. You've just given me something that I've needed, to be honest, and needed a moment like this just to. It was a healing process, honestly, for myself. Feel like listening to this again on another listen with intent, knowing how it made me feel this time around. If I think of my own demons, my own traumas, my own pains, I'll be able to listen to this with intent and almost expel them out of myself. It's very much like a healing sound to it that, yeah. I could go on, so I won't. Anyway, thank you so much for this request, and sorry about the lighting going up and down. It might be like this for a while because I'm doing my video stood up from now on just because of my back issues. I can't wait to sit down now. But yeah, thank you. Become a patron if you want to. Follow me on Instagram for sure, because I'll chat to you, as long as it's not like loads of you talking all at once. I won't be able to do it immediately, but you know, I will get back to you at what time it'll be, you know. But yeah, I appreciate you, and yeah, and bye.